Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Tech Conversations. Firstly, if you haven't already, make sure to check out Webull. Right now, you could earn a $200,000 to $30,000 cash bonus when you sign up to Webull by using my link in the description below and make a qualifying deposit. Right now, you could also get 30 days of premium and a couple of other benefits. Keep in mind, terms and conditions do apply. So go ahead and check out Webull. I'll put a link to them in the description below. Also, make sure to check out the Discord, completely free to join. So I'll put a link to it in the description below as well. Now let's get right into today's video. So today I want to talk about 4 of the biggest stock splits happening here in June. And remember, stock splits could have some potential benefits for investors. So before I get into the list of stocks having stock splits in June, let's quickly go over what some of those potential benefits could be. Let's use Google as an example here. So Google, before it had its last stock split, right before it split, was trading at around $2,255 a share. After its stock split, right after, it went down to $112 a share. So let's say you wanted to purchase 1 share of Google before its stock split. If you didn't have access to fractional shares, you had to have over $2,000 to just buy 1 share of Google. Now, after its stock split, if you wanted to buy 1 share of Google, all you had to have was a little bit over $100. So it could make the stock more accessible to those investors that don't have access to fractional shares and don't have a lot of money. It could also, for example, make trading options more affordable. So again, let's say you wanted to sell cash secured puts on Google before its stock split. You had to have $220,000 to sell cash secured puts. Right after its stock split, when it dropped to $112 a share, you only had to have about $11,000. So a lot less money. Same thing for buying calls, buying puts. You would have to have a lot less money. You needed a lot less money to trade options on Google. So those could be some of the potential benefits for stock splits. But remember, just because a stock has a stock split does not mean it's a buy. Now let's get right into the list here today. So let's start with the first stock on the list. This is going to be ticker symbol RGC. So let's take a look here at this stock. So currently at $697 a share. This has a 52-week high of $950. In the last year, this stock is up over 15,000%. And in the last 5 years, this stock is up 5,700%. Looks like it was listed on July 16, 2021. So you can already see this is an extremely volatile stock. So I would proceed with caution if you trade this stock. But let's take a look here first at what this stock does, or what the company does, and then we'll take a look at the stock split details. So what does this company do? So let's take a look here. So Regencell Bioscience Holdings is an early stage bioscience company that focuses on the research, development, and commercialization of TCM for the treatment of neurocognitive disorders and degeneration, specifically ADHD and ASD, and infectious diseases affecting people's immune system. So if you want to learn more about them, definitely go ahead and check out their website. But what are the stock split details for this stock? So let's take a look at that here next. So let's see here. Regencell Bioscience Holdings Limited announces forward stock split. This was June 2nd, so very recently. So they announced that its board of directors approved a 38-for-1 forward stock split to be paid in the form of a stock bonus. So remember, the way you read this is basically for every share you own, for every one share you own, you'll have 38 times as many if you hold through the stock split, right? So if you have one share and you hold through the stock split, after the stock split, you would have 38 shares. So you'll get an additional 37 shares for every share you have. This will also affect the share price. So again, one share right now is $697. Let's just pretend that's the same price it is right when the stock split happens. Now, after the stock split happens, that would go down to $18.34. So you'll have 38 times as many shares, but each share will only be around $18.34 instead of $697. That's how a stock split works. Now let's take a look here. Each shareholder of the company of record at the close of business on June 12 will receive 37 additional shares for every share held on the record date. The company expects the additional shares will be distributed on June 13th, subject to final approval by the NASDAQ Capital Markets. It looks like it's still waiting for some approval here. Trading is expected to begin on a post-stock split adjusted basis at market open on June 16, 2025. The forward stock split is intended to enhance liquidity in the market for the company's ordinary shares and to make the shares more accessible to investors. No action is required by shareholders in connection with the forward stock split. So again, it's a very volatile stock, it looks like, but this is the first stock on the list. Again, proceed with caution on this stock. Now let's move on to the next stock on today's list. The next stock is going to be ticker symbol APG, API Group. So let's take a look here at this stock. Currently at $48.74 with a 52-week high of $48.83. So it's basically at its 52-week high. In the last year, the stock is up over 30%. And in the last 5 years, this stock is up over 328%. This stock does not have a dividend. Now, what does this company do? Let's take a look at that here very quickly. So API Group provides safety and specialty services worldwide. The company offers end-to-end integrated occupancy systems, such as fire protection services, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning solutions, and entry systems, elevators, escalators, and various infrastructure and specialized industrial plant services, as well as a lot more. So again, if you want to learn more about the company, go ahead and check out their website. But what are the stock split details here for the stock? Let's take a look at that here next. So API Group expands credit facility, announces stock split. So let's take a look here. So API Group announced a 3-for-2 stock split of its common stock. So again, the way you read this is for every 2 shares you own, you'll now have 3 shares, right? So if you have 2 shares, you hold through the stock split, you'll have 3 shares. If you have 4 shares, you hold through the stock split, you'll have 6 shares after. Again, that means the share price will also drop. So again, one share right now is at around $48 a share. Let's say it's at around that same price when the stock split happens. After the stock split, one share would be at around $32 a share. So if you take a look here, this will be executed through a dividend distribution. Shareholders on record as of June 16 will receive 1 additional half share for each share they own on June 30. The stock split will now apply to holders of the company Series A preferred stock, but after the split, the preferred stock will be convertible into 6 million shares of common stock. This move is expected to increase the liquidity of the shares and make them more accessible to a broader range of investors. The company has stated that cash payments will be issued in lieu of any fractional shares resulting from the stock split. So you have the stock split details for this stock. Now let's go on and move to the next stock on today's list. So the next stock will be ticker symbol PEGA, Pegasystems. So let's take a look here. So currently at $101 a share. In the last year, the stock is up over 74% with a 52-week high of $113 a share. And we take a look here. In the last 5 years, this stock is up 6%. This is also a dividend stock. So let's quickly take a look here at the dividend information for this stock. So here we are on NASDAQ.com. So here we can come in and search up for a stock. So let's search up PEGA, Pegasystems. So here it is. We'll go ahead and click on it. And then here on the left, we can click on dividend history. And here we can take a look at the dividend information for this stock. So we find information like the dividend dates, the ex-dividend dates, the dividend yield, the annual dividend, and a couple of other things. So there you have what the current dividend is for Pegasystems. Now let's take a look here at what this company does, and then we'll take a look at the stock split details. So Pegasystems is a software company that develops and offers software solutions for customer engagement, digital process automation, and enterprise transformation. So again, if you want to learn more about them, go ahead and check out their website. But what are the stock split details for the stock? Let's take a look at that here next. So if we take a look here, Pegasystems to carry out 2-for-1 stock split on June 23rd. So again, for every share you own, if you hold through the stock split, you'll have 2 times as many. Again, that also means the share price would go, let's say it's at around $100 when the stock split happens. It would go down to around $50 a share after the stock split. So there is the third stock on the list. Let's move on to the final stock here today. So the final stock is going to be ticker symbol IBKR, Interactive Brokers, currently at $209 a share. This stock has a 52-week high of $236. In the last year, the stock is up almost 70%. In the last 5 years, this stock is up 392%. This is also a dividend stock. So let's quickly take a look here at the dividend information for this stock. So if we go back here to NASDAQ.com, we can come in here and just search up IBKR. So here is Interactive Brokers. And if we click on it here, again, we can find the dividend information for this stock. So again, we get the ex-dividend date, current dividend yield, annual dividend, and a couple of other things. So there is the dividend information for Interactive Brokers. Now, what does this company do and what are the stock split details? Let's take a look at that here next. So Interactive Brokers is a global online brokerage firm offering a diverse range of financial instruments and trading tools. They provide direct access to over 150 global markets, allowing users to trade stocks, options, futures, currencies, bonds, and other assets. And I'm sure a lot of you guys use Interactive Brokers. So what are the stock split details for this stock? Let's take a look at that here next. So if we take a look here, Interactive Brokers is splitting its stock. So Interactive Brokers is making its stock more accessible to investors. They announced a 4-for-1 stock split. So for every share you own, if you hold through the stock split, you'll have 4 times as many. And again, if let's say that when the stock split happens, one share is at around $209. After the stock split, one share would be trading at around $52 a share. And so if we take a look here, they announced a 4-for-1 forward stock split scheduled to take effect on June 18. Shareholders of record as of June 16 will receive 3 additional shares for each share held. So there you guys have it. 4 of the biggest stock splits happening in June. Let me know if you think any of these are buys in the comment section below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Check out the Discord. Hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.